Permanent residency in Australia is granted to specific types of visa holders. The Australian government offers a few types of Australian visas such as family stream, work stream, business stream, special eligibility stream and child stream. So, foreigners must meet certain requirements to obtain permanent residency visa. Hello and welcome to Edutrainex, the best learning channel and pioneer in international education. I am Nandini Watts and today in this video, I will be telling you about the requirements to get permanent residency in Australia. Watch the video till the end to know about the common queries of the applicants. Maybe you will get answers to your doubts as well. So let's get started. So here is a list of visas that will let you stay permanently in Australia. Moving ahead, regardless of what type of permanent visa you are applying for, you must provide valid passport, permanent visa application form, authorized recipient form if it is applicable, proof of paid base fee, recent identity photographs and national ID, police clearance, civil documents, proof of financial stability, health insurance, a written invite, requirement of good conduct and signing the values declaration. So in order to apply for permanent residency in Australia, you will have to meet the health requirements like you must be free from any disease or condition that requires significant healthcare service costs. You should be free of any disease or health condition that may put a demand on short supply services in Australia, as a result damaging the healthcare service for Australian permanent residents and citizens, that is dialysis and organ transplant. You must be free from any disease that might threaten public health like measles, tuberculosis, HIV and hepatitis, yellow fever, polio and Ebola. So it is absolutely compulsory to meet the health requirements as set out by Immigration Office and complete the required health examinations. So you must get the health examinations done for all the members of your family who are applying for the visa. Now, here is a condition that if the applicant has had a full medical examination sometime during the last 12 months, then they might not be required to get the health checkup done again. Now, suppose you don't meet the health requirements, then you won't receive a permanent residence visa. So what can you do in such a case is that you can apply for a health waiver. If it is granted, then there are chances for you to receive the visa. However, you must have really strong reasons that why you believe that you actually meet the health requirements. Plus, you will only be granted a health waiver if you meet the rest of the visa requirements. So before applying for a permanent visa, you will usually need a provisional visa in the same immigration category. However, for some type of visas within the family stream, you must apply for the temporary visa and the permanent residency visa at the same time. See, I'll give you an example to help you understand it better. So you may apply for a temporary partner visa like Subclass 820 and for your permanent visa Subclass 801 simultaneously, since your temporary visa will allow you to live freely in Australia while your permanent visa will be processed. So many of you want to know the cost of the permanent visa. So keep in mind that the cost of a permanent visa varies on what type of visa you are applying for initially. Family stream permanent partner visa fee Subclass 801 costs around 7,715 Australian dollars. Business stream permanent visas Subclasses 888, 893 and 891 costs around 2,450 to 2,950 Australian dollars. Depending on an applicant's personal circumstances, the cost of obtaining a permanent visa through a workstream migration program can vary. Plus, there are different streams available within the work visa category and the fee will vary depending on what type of visa you are applying for. Now, before you apply for an Australian permanent visa, you have to select the type of visa that leads to permanent resident status. So you can do this in your IME account or choose the specific form that is relevant to your visa application if you are applying on a paper. Depending on your visa application, there will be different requirements you will have to meet. However, Each permanent visa application must fulfill the character requirement and health requirements. So collect all the important documents you need to submit for your visa application. These will be listed in all of the visa application forms, but make sure you follow the guidelines for the documents as stated by the immigration office. Finally, you can apply for the visa you want. You can submit either a paper application or an online application, but keep in mind that online applications are processed faster than paper applications. So there are some rules to qualify for Australia permanent residency depending on the migration program. First is that you can't be more than 45 years of age if you're applying for workstream based permanent residency. So those who are unable to apply for this program due to their age can apply for permanent residency through the retirement visa program. So you'll have to provide an English language test proficiency certificate. Then you must have a master's or doctorate degree for research work based. You should present sponsorship if you're applying through a sponsor visa. And at last, in the case of a family stream migration program, you must have a spouse or de facto partner in Australia. Residents of Australia with permanent residency have a 5-year travel facility that allows them to travel freely in and out of the country. So when your 5-year travel facility expires, you will not be able to re-enter Australia if you leave. Now, what to do if your travel facility expires while you are outside Australia? See, if this happens, then you will have to apply for a resident return visa or Australian citizenship. If you're not eligible for any of these, then you have to apply for another permanent visa like a former resident visa, family visa, or a skilled visa. So without a valid visa, you cannot re-enter Australia, and you shouldn't apply for a temporary visa just to return, as that could negatively affect your permanent residency status. Now the next question that comes up, what to do when your travel facility is over? So in this case, after 5 years of permanent residency, you will need to apply for a resident return visa subclasses 155 and 157. So with this visa, you are free to leave and re-enter Australia for another 5 years, and also you can apply for it as often as needed. Now there is a catch here that your resident return visa may be valid for less than 5 years, like 1 year or 3 months, depending on your personal situation. You don't need this visa if you don't plan on traveling. So always keep in mind that once your permanent visa is issued, your travel facility will expire after 5 years. Applicants with these specific visas will receive a notification 60 days before their travel facility expires. Many applicants have this confusion that can their Australia permanent residency expire? So as the name goes, it is permanent residency, it cannot expire. So only the travel facility expires after 5 years when the visa is issued. Then there are questions that can you lose your permanent residency in Australia? It is generally not possible to lose permanent residency in Australia. However, there are some instances when you might lose your permanent residence status. For example, if you no longer have the same relationship as when you applied for a family stream permanent visa, your permanent residence may be revoked. So violating the good character rules during the time you hold a permanent residency. Applicants are often confused between Australia permanent residency and citizenship. So there is one major difference between an Australia permanent residency and citizenship, that permanent residents may not hold an Australian passport, vote in Australia, apply for student loans, be a part of the Australian Defence Force, work within the Australian government, re-enter Australia if your travel facility is expired, and if you are an Australian permanent resident, then you can work and study indefinitely in Australia, access Medicare services, buy property through bank loans, sponsor other family members for permanent residence, apply for Australian citizenship, follow free language classes, work in New Zealand, travel as you wish as long as your travel facility is valid. So the Australian immigration program runs every year, and the year 2019-2020, the majority of the permanent visa applicants came from India. Following India was China and then the UK. So that was all about Australia Permanent Residence Permit. If you have any further queries, you can let us know in the comment section below. And also, if you want any assistance in applying for the visa, then you can contact the given number. We will be happy to help. And if you want to get regular updates on the rules and regulations regarding this visa, then you can check on the official website. The link you will find in the description below. Thank you.